Good morning Year 3 and welcome to today's English lesson, which is all about direct speech. So I'm just going to talk you through today's lesson and activities. Now, first of all, direct speech is when a person is speaking. Okay? Now, when we are doing our writing, when someone is speaking in a story, we need to use some punctuation to show us that someone is talking. So who can remember what the punctuation is that we need to use when we're looking at direct speech? Can anyone remember? That's right. We must use inverted commas, okay? And we can also think of those as speech marks, or we spoke in class, didn't we, about the 66 and the 99. But remember, the proper name for them is inverted commas. Okay, and that's the punctuation we use to show when someone is talking in writing. So here are some examples. Everyone in Year 3 is working so hard at the moment, stated Miss Robertson, which is another word for said. Then we've got, did you enjoy reading The Stone Age Boy? Asked Mrs. Cheslin. And then we've got, hopefully it won't be long until we are back together in school, said Miss Robertson. Okay, now on the next slide, I'm going to explain to you when and how we use inverted commas. So there are some key rules that we need to remember. So when we are using inverted commas, they always go at the start and at the end of the words that are being spoken. Okay, they don't go around the whole sentence. So if we look at this example here, everyone in Year 3 is working so hard at the moment, stated Miss Robertson. Now, the words that I said were everyone in Year 3 is working so hard at the moment. Okay? I didn't say stated Miss Robertson. That's actually a separate part of the sentence. My actual spoken words were everyone in Year 3 is working so hard at the moment. So my inverted commas go at the start of the speech and at the end of the speech. They don't go at the end of the whole sentence, because then it would look like I said everything out loud, which I didn't. Okay. Now, with inverted commas, okay, and when we've got them in the right place, we need to also remember a few other things. So when we have punctuation at the end of our little speech, it always goes inside of the inverted commas. Okay, so just before the 99 here. We don't ever put it after the inverted commas because that wouldn't be right. Okay, now if a sentence ends in a full stop and our speech is at the start of our sentence, we replace the full stop with a comma. Okay, so in our examples today, when we have a full stop at the end of our sentence, we replace it with a comma. Okay, and that goes inside the inverted comma at the end of the speech. Another key rule to remember is that when a new person is speaking in our story, we start a new line. Okay, we go on to the line underneath. Okay, and then we must remember to say who is speaking. So I couldn't just have my inverted commas and everyone in Year 3 is working so hard at the moment, because I wouldn't know who said it. I must do something called a reporting clause to say who said it. So we've got stated Miss Robertson, or whispered Miss Robertson, or grumbled Miss Robertson. Okay, fantastic. And then finally, I want you to focus on thinking about using interesting synonyms, so other words for said. So rather than saying said the boy, said the girl, said the boy, said the girl, which gets a bit repetitive, try and vary how you say the word said. Okay, now on the next page I'm going to just show you some more examples broken down. So we've got two speech bubbles here, and we're thinking about what our two characters would be saying to each other. So I've got, who are you? And I am Om from the Stone Age. So it's the boy speaking and then the girl. So I've got some little rules here to follow. So inverted commas only go around the words spoken. So I'm only going to put them around what the boy actually said. So they go at the start and at the end. Okay, now I've got a question mark in that sentence, so the question mark must go before the inverted comma at the end of the speech. Then, once we have written the speech, we must remember to say who has spoken. So I can't just put who are you with my inverted commas. I must do my reporting clause to say who said it afterwards, which is asked the boy. Okay, then when the next person speaks, we must start on a new line. So here's my example. I've got who are you, asked the boy. Then I am Om from the Stone Age, replied Om. Now if you notice in these two sentences, I've got my inverted commas just around the word spoken, not the whole sentence. And then in each example in the green, I've got my reporting clause. I have told the reader who is speaking. Okay, where does the punctuation at the end of the speech need to go? Pause the video and have a think. So if my sentence ended in a question mark or a comma or a full stop, where would it need to go? That's right, it would need to go inside of the inverted comma at the end of the sentence, okay, never afterwards. Fantastic. Now, your tasks for today. So you have two. Okay, now if this one takes you a little while and you don't have time for the next one, don't worry. Okay, this is the main one. So it says copy the sentences into your book or onto paper and then add in the missing inverted commas. Remember that they only go around the word spoken and not the whole sentence. So I couldn't just copy this sentence out into my book and then put the inverted comma at the start and at the end, because that wouldn't be right. What I'm going to do to help me to figure out where they go, I'm going to look in each one where my word for said is. So I've got said Miss Robertson, asked Mrs. Cheslin, stated Mr. Carey, asked Georgia, wondered Ethan. Now nobody when they're talking is going to say that bit out loud. That isn't the part of the sentence that is spoken. The part of the sentence that is spoken is the bit before the word for said. So year 3 are working very hard. Did you enjoy playing in the snow? So in the first example, and I've got an example on the next slide. Oh wait, no I haven't, sorry about that. In the first example, I know that my inverted commas would need to go here at the start where it says year 3, and they would go here after the word hard. Now that sentence, year 3 are working very hard, would end in a full stop. Okay, usually. Now because I've still got my reporting clause afterwards, I'm going to replace a full stop with a comma, because if I put a full stop there, this bit, said Miss Robertson, would not make sense on its own. That's not a full sentence. Okay, so have a look through that and have a go at placing the inverted commas in the right place. If you fancy a challenge, then I've asked you to extend the sentences with an adverb, so said Miss Robertson quietly or proudly, or a subordinate clause, so a little bit of extra detail about what I might be doing as I say that. So my subordinate clause in the example for the challenge is, as she smiled at the children in her class. Brilliant. There's some answers on the next slide for you to look through, okay? And then activity 2, you have some speech bubbles here of what the two characters might say to each other. What I want you to do is turn these speech bubbles into the lines of direct speech. Okay, so if you look on the next slide, there is an example this time, and it says, here I go, so look at my modern clothes. So I've got my inverted commas because that's what's been spoken. And then I've got my reporting clause, stated the boy. And then I've even done a little challenge. I've got my subordinate clause, as he lifted his foot up to show on. Okay, and then I would work through the rest of the examples and put in the missing punctuation and the reporting clause. Okay, there's also a little word bank of words for said here, so you can use different words in your writing. Okay, now good luck with all those activities. As usual, if you need any help with anything, then please send me an email at the year 3 email address. Okay, fantastic learning everyone. Thank you for working hard. Bye.